Buddy's been here before. He's won several of the major events in the sport in the last 10 years. And he's won big prizes. In fact, the biggest prize he won was $33,000 once before. So he's been here before. This is a new thing for Mike. He's never been to finals of a major event before. He's won several regional tournaments in Florida, and California, and Tennessee, and Oklahoma. But this would be his first major title.
And I want to say something about Mike. He made a ball on the break. He's going to have to push out here to the one ball. But Mike's been playing a lot of straight pool. And he has really been playing superior nine ball since he's been playing so much straight pool.
Well, he told me before the match he's playing the best pool of his life right now, and it's evidenced by his children here.
Well, Buddy can take a pop at just one ball if he wishes. If so, I think he'll just try to put the cue ball down below the two ball, which is on the far right-hand side of the monster. And if he misses this shot, Jay, I suspect he'll want to miss it on the thick side, meaning that the one ball will hit the end rail first. In that fashion, he'll have an excellent chance to be safe should he, in fact, miss the one ball.
That's the two ball up on top of the table there, above the line.
$85,000 added to the men's division, $15,000 to the ladies.
First price, $30,000 for the ladies.
Well, he didn't even no thought of safety. He went all out to make the ball.
Yeah, he went for the ball there. Left Mike jacked up over the three ball with the one on the side at a pretty severe angle.
Were this me, Jay, I would park Buddy directly behind the six ball. I wouldn't even think about shooting this. Okay, he had a little better angle than I suspected. The three ball by the lower left-hand corner pocket, the four ball by the left-hand side pocket, the rest of the balls in relatively good position. He'll want to follow this one rail back up the table. Nine ball. Go ahead, Jay.
Well, the one was really the key shot to make the one get on the two like that. The rest of the balls are nice and spread out. I don't see any difficulties for Mike. He should be able to get through this rack and get that key first game out of the way.
Well, the first game, as we've talked about so many times in the past, oftentimes sets the tone for the entire match. Now, he kind of mishit that shot there.
Very weak. Very weak there. He wouldn't come out of that corner and come up the table at least another foot to 18 inches.
So he's gotten himself in a little bit of a quandary here. Main thing here, make the four ball. And I like just punching the cue ball over to the far right-hand side rail and back out a few inches. That seems to be the highest percentage method of just pocketing the four ball. Both of these players possessed of remarkable attitudes. Nice shot, just nice like hit. That. I like that a lot. Beautiful stroke.
Came out he came out very well on that ball.
Now he can draw or follow this. I can't tell the exact angle. He's not quite straight in. He may draw this two rails, draw it straight back, or follow it. Of the three choices, I think he's selecting the right one. Follow with a touch of left English.
Nope.
Uh-oh. Now he kind of raised up on that shot.
Yes, he did. He chopped it off a little bit there. He didn't stay down at all.
Well, I think he's going to find himself behind the 7 and 9 if the 5 doesn't pass the 6, and I don't believe it does.
But he's hesitated by the corner pocket and took a look to see if the 5. Now he's looking again from this angle. Obviously, if the 5 passes the 6, it's not a full pocket.
26 Brunswick Gold Crown tables, furnished courtesy of Brunswick Corporation and Jim McCool. 4.5-inch pockets.
Look at this. This is a difficult shot here. He's trying to make the 5 and hold. No, you're right. He played a safety. And a good one, too.
Well, that had to be the highest percentage selection available to him.
Mike is partially hooked by the 7 ball here. I think he can jump it and hit the 5.
What's he looking at here?
I think he wants to see what kind of angle the cue ball is going to come off the 5, particularly if he tries to cut the 5 ball in the upper right corner pocket.
Well, he could scratch right by the 6 ball.
Uh-huh.
Now, it's possible to hit a jump shot striking the cue ball in any number of places, including high up on the cue ball.
Well, if there's anybody that can jump this ball, it's Mike Massey. He has the greatest range of trick shots I've ever seen.
Oh, he's a fabulous showman, no doubt about it. Anyway, I wouldn't want to use a high ball here. I think that's conducive to a scratch.
Like, almost popped the 5-ball off the table. It caught the side pocket and bounced back onto the table.
Well, we've seen an unforced error on the part of Mike Massey early on in this contest. In fact, game number 1, and I'm sure that's something he's going to have to avoid if he expects to defeat the great Buddy Hall. I mean, Buddy's just solid as a rock. He's championship 9-ball personified. And were I Mike, I'd want to maybe calm down a little bit and just play good high percentage common sense pool. Now he's going to, I can't see, it looks like he's drawing this ball.
Yes, he is. Going to draw over to the left side rail and back out to the 6. Have to come up above the 6-ball. He does it very well. He'll shoot that 6 in the upper left corner. Roll the cue ball off the end rail, right back into position. No, he's drawing. Maybe.
I don't think he can do anything wrong here. He'll draw this out one cushion, I believe.
He'll draw over to the rail near him. No, he didn't even have to come over. He just playing the simplest way, a la Luther Lassiter. The easy way around the table. That's the Buddy Hall way.
As little cue ball movement as possible, always with Buddy Hall. I think he's got the perfect angle. Just punch over to the 9.
Ooh. And an unforced error by Buddy Hall. A very rare open miss.
Well, a lot of times in these matches, Jay, and we've talked about this again and again, the first game is the players need to dispose of the opening match jitters. And obviously we've seen that type of thing here. Both players having a reasonable run out and not availing themselves of that.
Well, it's 1:30 in the afternoon here at the Pheasant Run Resort, and it's a little bit early in the day for most players. We're used to playing late afternoon, evening matches.
It is vampire hour for pool players.
They'll get loosened up here, though. We're going to see some good play in this match.
In fact, I spent 22 years of my life without ever once being up at 6 or 7 o'clock in the morning unless I had been up all night. I woke up one morning at 6 in the morning, and there was nobody to play, no place to place a wager, and I was horrified.
Rolled over and went back to sleep.
No, I had to stay up and face the stark day. All right, he's going to spin this in low left English.
Didn't play the best shape on this ball.
Well, he had to spin the ball to be able to hit the 7-ball.
He overcut it. Nobody wants his first game.
Well, Buddy does now, and he's delighted to accept it. Early score, Johnny Archer 1, Mike LeBron 0. 2-0 Eva Mattia over Tammy Wesley.
Buddy Hall takes a 1-0 lead.
In a not very well played first game.
I have a feeling they got most of the misses out of their system right there.
This has been a lot of fun here this week. Johnny Archer's the only young player left in the men's division. The other players are all in their 40s.
Except Mike LeBron's in his 50s.
Oh, that's right. Mike's in his 50s.
I think Mike's about 10 years older than these players, and these fellows are both 44 years old.
Well, you wouldn't know it by Mike's performance in major events.
Yeah, he's had his greatest success since he turned 50.
A lot of pocket billiard intelligentsia in attendance here this week, including Red Walling from Houston.
Yeah, he used to put on that big tournament down in Houston, the Reds tournament. In fact, I think you won the one pocket division down there a couple of times.
Oh, Red used to put on really quality events. Nice fella, ex-basketball player. All right, Buddy did not pocket a ball on the break. Now, Mike needs to settle down and not make unforced errors. I don't know what choice he's got here. He could take a bank at the 1 if he wished. I think the cut might be a little severe. He's looking at trying to put Buddy maybe behind the 2-ball, but he can't do that because the only way to get it there is to cause the 1-ball to go into the 5-ball. So I don't know what's going through his mind here. We'll just have to wait and see.
Put the 1 behind the 2, brought the cue ball around.
Well, that's a pretty good shot.
Yeah, he would like to have gone a little farther with the cue ball over to the side rail, but he can see the 1. I don't think he can do too much with it, though.
I don't know what he can do here. He can kick at it easily, But if he does that, he's going to leave Mike a nice return safety. I don't see any way to beat the kiss. There's a nice close-up with the 1 and 2 ball.
Yeah, neither ball is frozen.
Now, he can try to bank this ball out of there, but I believe he's going to have problems kissing the 5 ball if he does that. Let's see what happens here.
Well, Buddy, yeah, he wanted to cross it. I think he wanted to get the cue ball past the 2. I don't think he wanted to hit the 2. He didn't hit the 1 quite as thick as he would have liked.
Well, I didn't think he could do that. Of course, I play a lot of 1 pocket. I understand kiss shots pretty well. Okay, let's see if Mike can settle down and notch game number 2 on his side of the scoreboard. Got a nice angle. Here's a 3 on the lower right-hand side rail.
The 4 is right by the 2.
He just wants to come out 1 rail here and keep a little angle on the 3. That's just about perfect.
Hit that ball nicely.
Now he can play the 4. Well, he's going to have to play in the corner, I believe. The side pocket won't afford him an easy route to the 5 ball, which is at the far end rail. 6 roughly in the middle of the table. He'll just draw this out. 1 rail, a little bit of left on it. Wants to cinch this ball, make sure he gets above the 6 ball. Oh, he decided to follow it. All right, in retrospect, this isn't bad. It's a little bit of a tough side pocket make on the 4 ball, but he can go 4 cushions and achieve excellent position on the 5 ball.
Well, they're shooting at 4.5-inch pockets, so they don't afford you much room for error.
But they're a rather generous 4.5 inches.
I would tend to disagree with you there, Grady. I've seen a lot of balls jar and hang up just like Buddy's 7 ball that first game. You've got to hit these pockets pretty clean.
Mike was a little bit hasty there. He ran into the 6 ball. He came a little short on his 3-rail angle.
I think he's going to just get up there and bank this ball. He's going to bank the 5 ball, back down. No, he played safe again. And it worked. Once again, Buddy can see the right edge, the right side of the 5 ball. Not enough to make it, I don't believe.
Well, if he can't make it, he's going to thin the 5 ball.
Actually, with this angle on our camera held by Rick Boley, it looks like he can hit enough of the 5 ball to make it.
That's a nice perspective of the upcoming shot. If he can make it, he won't even hesitate to shoot it. If not, he'll knock the 5 1 rail to the middle of the end rail. Looks like he's shooting at it, though.
He's going to just barely miss the 6 ball.
For safety, of course, he would bring the cue ball back behind the 7 ball, roughly where he is right now. Well, he went for it. He could hit more than enough.
Yes, he could. He was concentrating so much on coming close to 6 ball that he hit the 5 full in the face.
And these first 2 games have not been very well played, but I think that's going to change momentarily. Now, Mike may draw this 2 or 3 cushions, or he could just stop the ball. I can't tell how straight in he is. Okay, he had enough angle to come out 1 rail.
Stroked that ball very solemnly. I think Mike is getting loosened up a little bit. He's starting to relax. Buddy had a chance to bury him here.
Well, he should consider himself fortunate to get this many shots early against a player the likes of Buddy Hall. Now, he can slow spin this in or go 2 cushions. 2 cushions had to be the right selection, I believe.
I don't think he wants to slow roll too many balls right now. I think he wants to stroke them.
Well, he's in pretty good shape here. 1 rail out with the low left-hand English, like so. And he's achieved an excellent angle on the 8 ball. No problem getting to the 9. Nice shot. And just like that, it's going to be 1 game apiece. Kelly Oyama tied up one game apiece with Robin Bell. They're the last 2 in the winner's division of the ladies' bracket, I believe. The winner's bracket of the ladies' division.
Right. Kelly's somewhat of a surprise, just as Mike is, to be in this position. Well, we're looking around. There's Kelly and Robin's match back there. That's Kelly Oyama. Pool players affectionately call her Big Mama Oyama.
And that's Mike LeBron sitting down there. The balding
What's
pate
Kelly shooting
ever
at?
visible. That's a
Kelly
7 ball. I
yeah,
think she's shooting. She's got 3 balls left to make. Get out
fires
that
it in.
game.
Mike Massey gets ready to break with his new Tim Scruggs cue.
And Buddy Hall, I think it's worth mentioning, is playing with a cue of his own design, actually manufactured by Leonard Bloodworth.
Yeah, they call it the Buddy Hall line, the Rifleman series.
Now, Mike made 3 balls on the break. He's got a nice shot on the 2 ball, which is down by the cue ball. The 3 ball, if it passes the 9, affords no special problem. Let's see what he does here. He can just come straight up the table here, just below center, a little left English.
You know, depending upon the angle on the 2 ball, I don't think he'll shoot the 2-9 combination.
No, I don't think he's going to play the combination either.
He'll draw back, yeah.
4 and 5 on the lower right-hand rail there.
Comes up nicely.
I mean, he may have to stay underneath the 5 ball here. Just a high ball and just come out 1 cushion to play the 5 in the far right-hand corner. Like so.
Nice shot.
Mike playing at a nice pace too, Jay.
Yeah, I think we're going to see him play real well the rest of the match.
My buddy's saying to himself, in all probability, come on and wake up. This is a major tournament, $30,000 first place, prize money.
This match alone is worth a minimum of $7,000, the difference between second and third. Second place being 16, third 9. The winner of this match is guaranteed at least second.
Well, it doesn't get more exciting than this. Nice prize money, elegant facility, first-rate equipment. And just like that, Mike Massey forges ahead slightly early on, 2 games to 1. And I've had a lot of fun here this week, Jay. Out of the 360 players, they had a lot of performers whose run-out capabilities were terrific. Guys I'd never seen in my life.
Yeah, the standard of play in professional 9-ball today is the highest it's ever been in my lifetime.
3 or 4 real good Mexican players from Los Angeles. You know, they have a school in Tijuana that teaches Mexican players how to luck balls in. And boy, do they excel in that particular facet of 9-ball. They don't allow them out to hustle pool till they learn how to luck a ball in every rack. I tried to get admitted to it, but they told me no.
You've got to be bilingual, Grady.
Yeah, I'm jealous of that, too. My girlfriend speaks French, Portuguese, Spanish, and English. All right, Mike didn't make a ball on the break, and I think he's going to find himself behind the 2-7.
It's a 1 ball up by the head spot. The 2 on the upper left rail next to the 7.
We'll see what he decides to do. That seems to be a very reasonable safety to me.
He shot at the ball. He shot at it.
Well, I've never seen Buddy Hall start off quite this sluggishly. That was a tough shot. He had to roll it the length of the table with a pretty low percentage of safety. Now for Mike, if he puts this game away, he could be difficult to deal with in this major event.
Hit that ball nicely. Well, he's got himself a pretty sharp angle on the 2 ball here. He's got to cut that very thin down the rail.
Well, he's going to go back and forth across the table between the 3 and 7, probably 3 cushions, and try to play position for the 3 in the left-hand side pocket.
That's the 3 right underneath his cue stick there.
Well, he didn't. He played the position as I suspected. Now, Buddy, I don't know if he can make the 2 ball here or not. I believe he can. I believe he can spin this in with left English. Or might even have enough room to hit it in with no English. If that's the case, he'll go right into the 7 ball. Let's see what he does here. He wants to be nice and smooth, even here, and make sure he makes the 2 ball. All right, the 7 is rolling right up by the 4 ball now. The 5 and 9 down by the bottom end rail, the 6 on the lower right-hand side rail. Now he's going to lag this in and just go forward just a few inches. Like
Nice
so.
shot.
I don't know if he's gotten where he can get on the 5 ball adequately. If that's the case, he may have to just draw back, 8 to 12 inches or so, and accept the cut on the 5 ball.
Looks like he's trying to follow this 4 ball and go back and forth.
That looks risky to me, Jay. I'm not sure he's got a comfortable enough angle to pass underneath the 7 ball with high English.
No, he doesn't. That's why he's shaking his head, but he's shrugging. He said, I don't like where I got here. I went too far.
Well, he can ill afford to snooker himself or make another unforced error at this point in the match. This is a critical part of the match, too. The momentum.
He's trying to go around.
Well,
He hit the 5.
He got away with a little bit of murder there, in my opinion. I think
he
that's
knew
how
that.
he
I
played
think
it.
he knew that was a possibility that he hit the 5, and he just anticipated knocking it out where he'd have a shot, which he did. He's jacked up over the top of the 9.
Well, he's going to go above the 6 here, like so. Now below the 7, trying to get roughly straight in to get position on the 8 ball, which is at the far end of the table.
He's got a sharp angle on the 6, so he's going to kill this ball softly, which he does. Slides right across the table for the 7.
Okay, now he's gotten a nice angle. This is the angle I prefer here. This is an easy shot to just float over to the right-hand side of the 8 and maintain a nice angle to get position on the 9 ball.
Cameraman Rick Boley closes in so you can see the shot perfectly. Follow the cue ball across the table. He doesn't want to be straight in here.
Well, he's not. He can probably follow this out of here 2 rails. A little bit of left English.
Hit the end rail, the left side rail, back out to the middle of the table.
Yeah, anywhere in the middle
Strokes
of the
it
table.
very nicely. Didn't have to hit it hard, just put a nice stroke on it. Follow through. And Buddy's going to tie this match up.
Mike might have been slightly precipitous in striking the 2 ball. That was a big shot. Could easily have been 3-1 in favor of Mike Massey instead of 2 apiece. At any rate, Jay, I suspect we'll see a really well-played match from this point.
I tend to agree with you, Grady.
And the score is 4-1 now. Eva Mattia over Tammy Wesley. 2-1 Robin Bell over Kelly Oyama. And 4-1 shortly Johnny Archer over Mike LeBron. Or excuse me, 3-2 Mike LeBron over Johnny Archer. That should be a great match between those 2 talented players too. All right, Buddy's breaking from his favorite position. And I like him better from here than breaking from the side of the table. He's won many a major 9-ball tournament breaking from that very spot.
Powerful break shot. And the 7 rolls up, blocking the 1. And nothing went in. Mike's in a position where I think he's going to have to push out. Where he'll push out to is another thing, though.
I would push out down here by the 9 ball, were it me. I don't see that he's got many places to go here. The only problem here is that he figures to end up behind the 6 and 8. I don't think Buddy's going to try to make this. It's too easy a shot to bring the cue ball 3 cushions and try to place it very solidly behind the 6 and 8 ball. The 6 by the right-hand side pocket, the 8 by the lower right-hand side rail.
Well, this is about the same degree of difficulty as the 1 ball he shot last rack and missed. And he's looking at this one, too.
Well, this is no good, though, Jay. If he tries to make the 1, it's very difficult to strike it easily enough to get position on the 2 ball, which is on the lower left-hand side rail. Well, we'll know in just a moment.
He's shooting at it. Made a good shot. Nice soft shot.
Made a terrific shot. The 2 and 3 right there together, the 4 and 5 at the other end of the table.
This should be Buddy's rack here.
He's just going to come out 1 cushion here.
And the 4 and 5's up top.
Nicely done. Now, he'd like to get out roughly in the middle of the table without risking getting behind the 7 ball. Anywhere in the middle of the table, he should not have a problem getting very respectable position on the 5 ball.
Does a good job.
That's just about perfect. And he can just pretty much shoot and stop the cue ball here. He'd like perhaps to be just beyond the 5 ball.
You're watching perhaps the finest position player in professional pool today. He makes the shots look easy, mainly because he's putting that cue ball right where he wants it every time.
Well, everybody likes the Buddy Hall position theory. Plays perfect 9-ball at his best. All right, now one rail, unless he's just too straight in. All right, he's fine here. He can come 1 or 2 rails up to get position on the 8-ball. 5-1 now, Mattia over Wesley.
Ava just won a big match with Laurie John Jones that went to the Hill. I'd like her to go right into the finals.
That was a great match. Okay, he's achieved perfect position, and he'll just come out 1 cushion. An ideal lie for the 9-ball. And just like that, it's 3-2, Buddy Hall over Mike Massey.
All matches this week, Grady, are raced to 11, except the final match, which will be a single set raced to 13. So it's not truly double elimination in that the final match, the player from the loser's bracket only has to beat the undefeated player 1 time in a long race to 13.
Well, that should be that way. Anybody that comes from the loser side of a large board, meaning quite a few players, deserves to be in the finals and only have to win 1 match. A lot of times the guy on the loser side that came out had to defeat more players and better players than the guy who came out on the winner's side. I remember one tournament I played in not so many years ago where I made the finals, and the fellow that I played that came out on the winner's side of the tournament played the electrician in the 5th round and the cook in the round prior to that. And I'm playing guys like Siegel and Rempe and Hall. So it's hard for me to sympathize with the guy that comes out on the winner's side.
For a lot of people who aren't aware of it, for every round on the winner's side, there are 2 rounds on the loser's side. So a player from the loser's bracket could conceivably play twice as many twice as many matches as the player that comes out of the winner's side.
All right, Buddy made 2 balls on the break, but he scratched in the side pocket. Now, that's a problem he had last night, too. Now, he managed to win the match anyway, but he scratched several times in the side pocket. Now, for Mike, I don't even know if this 1 ball goes, and if it does, the 2 is sandwiched rather firmly between the 3 and 9 in a row on the spot line. So let's see what occurs here.
I don't think this is necessarily one of Mike's strong points, the safety play.
No, I think you'd have to give the edge to Buddy Hall in that particular category. Well, I don't know what he's going to do now. He played position for something that won't go.
He doesn't know either. He's laughing and saying something to Buddy. He says, I didn't know. I don't know.
Well, he may not have tried to make that. I don't know.
Yeah, it was almost as if he didn't make up his mind when he shot that ball. He just went ahead and shot it in anyway.
He may try to knock the 2 ball over to the lower left-hand side rail. I don't know. He's got a problem here, that's for sure.
Buddy gets up out of his chair. He wants to see how these balls are laying.
Let's see what he does here.
Not much you can do except hit it soft. Well, he's trying to come back up behind the balls.
Well, he made a nice safety. Let's see if we see Buddy's Buddy. That's his jump cue.
That's the 8 ball that blocks his view of the 2. And Buddy goes back over and gets his little buddy.
That's a stark contrast, that tiny little weapon against the massive torso of Buddy Hall.
Looks like his toothpick.
Buddy Hall born on a riverboat.
He sent a few pool players up the river.
That's for sure.
Broke.
Well, he's a great player, that's for sure. Over the last 15 years or so, that was a nice hit. He didn't make it. Over the last 15 years or so, I don't know anybody that ever beat Buddy playing even for money. All right, this is Mike's chance to tie it up at 3 apiece. A 3 ball by the right-hand side pocket. The 4 kind of middle-ish in the scheme of things. And the 5, the 6 up at the other end of the table. I think he's got a nice angle here to just follow this and come out 1 rail. Nicely done. And he's got a perfect angle on a 3 ball. He may tip the left-hand edge or the right-hand edge of the 7 ball. If that's the case, that's no problem. He's He's
I
still
think he
gonna-
can avoid the 7, yeah.
Oh, he had a different angle than I thought.
It's the 4 ball.
I
The
think
top section of the table, the 5 just below, right in the middle of the table, and the 6 up top.
he's going to just more or less stop the cue ball here and try to get straight in on the 5 ball, affording a nice draw angle to get back on the 6 ball. And he's done that very nicely. 6-1 now, Mathews over Wesley. Uh-oh, he might have gone. No, he's okay here.
He's okay. The winner of the Ava Mathews-Tammy Wesley match will play the loser of Robin Bell, Kelly Oyama. And Robin Bell takes a 4-2 lead in that match. Got 4 matches going on at once right now.
All right, he's just where he wants to be here. He can just draw this ball and play the 8 in the lower right-hand corner. Got a perfect angle on this. He'll just come out 1 cushion off the lower left-hand side rail. A little bit of low left English. Like so.
A little bit soft there. He would like to have been a little higher, but I think he's all right in the 9 here.
And discussion about rack number 6 is academic as Mike Massey ties the score at 3 games apiece.
You know, I think Mike started out a little bit intimidated by Buddy, as many players are, but as Buddy created a few open situations for him and made a few errors, Mike seems to have regained his confidence.
Well, I don't think Mike's intimidated by anybody. An interesting point about these 2 great champions, Jay, is that they're both born-again Christians. And they're fixing to convert me if they keep up this running out. Anyway, they enjoy
Do you think
life.
there's some
They have a lot
divine intervention here?
Well, I've always thought that. I just don't know how to interpret it correctly or adjust it to my particular needs. Now, Mike broke the balls very solidly, and he's not going to make a ball on the break either. Now, the 2 ball is by the lower left-hand side pocket. The 3 up by the right-hand side pocket. Now, Buddy's got an angle on the 1, but the thinness of the hit is going to make it hard to slow the cue ball down. So let's see what he decides to do here. This is one of Buddy's better shots. He's able to hit this type of cut shot very easily.
Does a nice job. He's going to hit the 9, bounce back up. It's kind of a nice open shot to 2. This is what Buddy does best. He threads his way through balls.
I don't know if he'll cut this or bank it. If the cut shot is a little too severe, he may end up banking this ball.
I think he can cut this ball. Yeah. Very interesting thing he did there. He went inside the 3 ball, between the 3 and the side, and came back around. Very few players would have played it that way.
But it was effortless, wasn't it?
Yeah,
I
he made
learned
it
something there.
Yeah, that was actually a very difficult shot, and he made it look very easy.
Now he can just kind of roll forward a little bit here, like so.
Mm-hmm.
And he's in perfect shape. 5 ball on the lower right-hand side rail. 6, 7, 8, 9. Not any 2 balls together or anything. Shouldn't have any trouble clearing these remaining balls.
Buddy was born and raised in the southern part of the state, Metropolis, Illinois. Now makes his home in Houston, Texas.
He'll just come out 1 natural rail here, low left-hand English. Now I suspect he'll play the 7 ball in the lower left-hand corner. Oh, he might not. Looks like he's hitting this to draw. He got kind of center fielders here on this ball.
It's not what he wanted. He wanted to come back out maybe another 6 inches or so, be straight up above the 7 ball.
Well, I see 3 choices here. You can cut the 7 in the lower left-hand corner, go 3 rails, kill the ball, which is the shot I like. This is low left-hand English, one of the prettiest shots in pool.
He's going to kill this ball so the cue ball stays down here. Ooh.
Very
what a
pretty,
shot.
very
What
pretty.
a shot.
Notice how that inside English just completely slowed the cue ball down.
He probably hits that shot as well as anybody this side of Efren Reyes.
Well, he certainly does. Buddy possessed of every position tool anyway. Well, you can't win major events without being able to do everything necessary in pool. You got to be a good position player, good shot maker. Got to have a good break, good attitude. And it's 4-3 at any rate. Buddy Hall over Mike Massey.
Buddy's won well over 100 tournaments. most accurate estimations are he is the all-time leading money winner in professional pool. He's been winning events for 20 years now.
And it's 4-3, LeBron over Archer at the moment. There was one year, 1972, that Buddy Hall won, I think it was 12 out of 14 events that year and finished second in the other two. That's a remarkable feat. And he's won at least 2 major events a year for the past, I don't know how many years. Let's see if Buddy can make a correction on the break, Jay, and get the break working.
There goes the 9. It's going to hang up, though.
And again, he did not make a ball on the break.
This is very unlike Buddy Hall.
Now the 2 balls on the far left-hand side rail. Now Mike's going to shoot at this ball, and he should strike the 6 ball. What he's got to worry about here, if he makes the 1, is either scratching 2 rails or ending up all the way down here on the end rail. The 3 is, by the 8 ball, somewhat near the right-hand side pocket.
It looks like he can come off the 6 ball and go 2 rails and get position on the 2, which is the upper left rail.
Now, if he shoots it fairly firmly, he could miss the 6 here if he contacts a thick part of the pocket like
You're
so.
right. You're right. Boy, what a shot he made there. Excellent shot. Excellent shot.
That was a great, great shot in a pressure situation. Now, he'll probably just play the 3-9 combination. The 6 and 7 are on the far end rail, and the 6 doesn't pass the 7. That seems to be the highest percentage choice to me.
He's got to concentrate on his 2 ball, though. He can't be thinking too much about getting out on the table. He's liable to miss this ball. He's got to make sure that's a good shot. Good shot.
All right, the 5 is going to interfere slightly with the bridging of the shot.
It's a little off angle, so it's not an easy combination.
Now, I don't like hitting this shot very hard. Some players hit this with quite a bit of authority, and what that does is require them to make a near perfect hit on the combination.
The 9 is just far enough out from the pocket. The angle's difficult enough, and he's over the top of the 5 that this is a difficult little combination. Not a hanger by any means. And he missed it entirely.
Well, he raised up a little bit on that shot.
Yeah, it looked like he lunged a little there.
Okay, he's given Buddy Hall a few too many shots at the moment.
That's the 4 on the upper right rail, the 5 to the left of it, and the 6-7 together on the top rail. Oh, but he slid up.
Buddy said this cue ball, boy, suggesting that he thinks the cue ball is a little light. He wanted to go a very easy 1 cushion out, no special problem there. But if the cue ball is light, it does cause problems.
Yeah, the players are used to playing with the red circle cue ball, which may be a few grams heavier than the blue circle. Of course, he's been playing with his ball all week, so if anybody knows how that ball plays, it's Buddy Hall.
Well, I think the ideal cue ball, Jay, is one that is exactly the same weight as the object balls, and certainly that hasn't always been the case in these major events, and necessary adjustments have to be made. He's able to make this ball over there by the 6 and 7. I think he's going to take a semi-shot at it. But I couldn't have been more surprised. That was the type of shot, light cue ball or heavy cue ball, a great player should have been able to stay away from the 8 ball. Let's see what occurs here. You want to hit this a fairly firm speed.
Well, it kissed off the 6 and went in the pocket, so Buddy got a good break. He actually cleared the 6 ball out to where it'll pass the 7 now.
But this is a tough shot here. You have to roll it in. The cue ball's right on the rail. Quite a distance. Very difficult attempt. There's a nice pan of Buddy Hall bridging the cue ball off the rail.
Well, Buddy's a favorite to make it, but he doesn't have to. He did. I like Buddy anytime he's shooting an open ball. I like him, although anybody can miss a shot like that one.
All right, he's in pretty good shape at any rate. He just needs to stop the ball or come back a hair. Now 1 rail out for the 8 ball in the corner, or he could even play the 8 for the side here, just a matter of individual preference.
You know, he may be going that way. You're right. You're right. Good call there, Grady.
Well, that wasn't a hard position shot. Now he'll just pull the cue ball out a few inches and adopt a 5-3 advantage over Mike Massey. Scores also 5-3 Mike LeBron over Johnny Archer.
And 5-3 Robin Bell over Kelly Oyama.
Boy, that'd be a big win for Kelly. She's never been to this position in a major event before.
Ava Mataya, meanwhile, stretches her lead to 7-1 over Tammy Wesley. I think Ava's going to be very dangerous in the women's division now that she got by Lori John Jones her last match.
Oh, no doubt about it. All right, Buddy's moving over to the other side of the table. Jay, I can't say as I blame him.
Yeah.
Given his past couple of breaks.
I think we'll see a different reaction on this break shot.
Well, I like where he's breaking from here. I played a couple of matches on this table, and I broke from the exact position Buddy is, and I was making balls on the break.
There goes the 5. Here comes the 2.
Okay, the 1 ball.
Only thing he did wrong is he didn't park his cue ball in the middle of the table.
No, he went forward, which he didn't mean to do. Let's see what happens here. We might see Buddy take a bank at this ball. I don't think the cut is reasonable to the right-hand corner because there's a scratch possibility. Oh, he's looking at the left-hand corner. That's a nice shot. If he decides to do that, he'll hit this with low right English. The cue ball will go to the far right-hand side rail, down to the end rail, and up for the 3 ball, which is also at the other end of the table.
That's the 3, near the pocket he's shooting at.
Got a chance to get safe, too, if he happens to not make this ball.
Makes a good shot there.
Nice shot. That's a pretty shot, too. All right, the 4 by the left-hand side pocket, the 6 on the lower end rail, the 7 by the right-hand side pocket. Now he'll come out 2 cushions and play position for the side here, because that'll give him a natural angle to get on the 6 ball. 1, 2, ideal. He's all right.
He's
here.
okay.
He doesn't have too much angle here. In fact, he can even shoot this with left English if he wants, which is what I would prefer here, because it's a nice natural outside English required for a high percentage of make on this type of execution.
Boy, he almost went too far there. In fact, he's got a severe angle, although he can make it.
We're going to get to see Buddy Hall's left-handed stroke now. Now he's going to go around the 8 ball, 2 rails. 1, 2, and perfecto. Okay. Okay, now he's going to go 2 rails around the 8, unless he's straight in enough to draw it out 1 cushion and just stay above the 8. Uh-oh. Now that's a funny shot, Jay. That last effort would seem to suggest that the cue ball is in fact not light. He went more through the 7 ball. A light cue ball would have bounced right off of it. All right, if I had to have one player to make this type of shot for all of my cash, it would be the great Buddy Hall.
You and me both. He missed it. It did skid. You could see the 8 ball turnover funny there.
All right, for Mike Massey, Jay, he's got to be delighted because he certainly has not played well, and he's right in the thick of this match. And it's 6-3, LeBron over Archer. Excuse me, I keep reading the score wrong. I'm not sure which way they're going. I think Mike put the score up incorrectly. It's 6-3, I believe. Yeah, now he's going to correct it.
Yeah. He took points off that time instead of added on. There we go. Mike Massey waits while the commotion on the adjoining table dies down.
And the score 6-3, Robin Bell over Kelly Oyama.
Has a brief conversation with Buddy Hall before he steps to the table. I'm sure Buddy was explaining to him how the 8 ball skidded. He couldn't have missed it.
And we've got a 1-game match here, 5-4 in favor of Buddy
Mike
Hall.
almost missed the 9 ball. He almost missed the 9 ball. He just caught the lower edge of that pocket. Mike smiles about that.
And it's 8-1, Eva Mataya over Tammy Wesley, with no signs of abatement in that match, I might add. Eva's hard to beat when she gets to rolling in these major events on the last day. A little fortunate to be where she's at. Lori John had only the 8 and 9 to win the match, and not a real difficult shot. Mike changed his break position too.
Made a nice break there.
All right, he cannot see the 1, however. The 2 ball located by the right-hand side pocket.
The 3 on the left side. I don't know if he can kick this 1 in by going to the end rail first. He may be able to.
That's too far off the rail. That's a good 3 inches off the rail.
Yeah, he's looking at it, though.
But I think he's going to play safe. He's going to try to go rail first, knock the 1 over to the left-hand side rail. And the cue ball, he'd like it to end up behind the 4 and 9. He's not going to try to make this. Like so.
Did a nice job. Played a good safety.
Could have been a hair thinner on the 1 ball. That would have enabled the cue ball to travel quite a bit more distance.
That's the 3 ball up there blocking Buddy's view of the 1.
And I think we're going to see a kick shot by Buddy Hall. He'll try to leave the cue ball behind the 6 ball. He'd like the 1 to go roughly towards the right-hand side pocket.
Past the 2.
Like so.
Just
Very
like
nice
that.
shot.
Very well done. Very well done.
All right, now Mike is going to have to go 1 rail into the 1 ball, and he'll want to hit it hard enough to achieve distance between the object ball and the cue ball. This shot here, I like to hit the bottom side of the 1. That's the side towards the bottom of the screen as we view it.
He's got to be real careful, because if he tries to hit the top side, he can hit that 2 ball coming out. It's a pretty close angle there.
He could actually have a chance to make this ball. He could also make it in the other side pocket off the 4 ball. Well, he did hit the high side of it, and
Left Buddy a bank. Buddy's got a cross-corner bank there.
Well, this type of bank is almost a hanger for Buddy Hall. He's a great bank pool player.
And it's a natural position shot, because he can just roll the cue ball. It'll roll off the side rail and back up into position for the 2 in the corner pocket.
This is high, left-hand English.
If he goes farther, he'll shoot it in the side. And he did. He'll shoot the 2 in the side. That's the 3 he just hit up near the corner pocket.
All right,
The 4 is down near the 9.
He's going to want to get on this 3 ball straight in, because the 4 doesn't pass the 9. He doesn't want any angle on the 3 at all. Maybe just a real slight angle.
Exactly what he got.
That's just about right. The reason for the slight angle so that he can get the cue ball off the rail as he pockets the 3. Now this is low left-hand English. He'll need quite a bit of spin to lengthen the cue ball out. So he wants to be able to get on the 5 ball as he pockets the 4. All right, he's got a little problem here, because I don't think he can get to the end rail around the 9. He's going to have to go into the 9 here, low left-hand English, just below center left-hand English. He'll try to bounce off the high side of the 9 over to the lower left-hand side rail and come out above the 5, which is reposing rather nicely on the lower right-hand side rail.
But he's taking a real careful look at where that cue ball's going to hit the 9.
Well, if he could hit the right side of the 9, as we see it, he could go to the end rail with left-hand English. And
It's like he's drawing the ball here.
well, he may be able to miss the 9 entirely and draw this and just go over to the side rail.
He was trying to come all the way across the table to shoot the 5 up in the end, and he did not get there. He did not get there.
I believe he has thoroughly snookered himself here. And Buddy really has not played well in this match.
No, I kept expecting Buddy to take charge, and he just hasn't done it. And he's really allowed Mike to stay right in the match.
All right, he's going to twist this ball and play a safety, I believe. Just try to put the cue ball on the end rail. He'd like to get to 5.
Missed the ball.
He wanted to get to 5 where it was blocked from going in the corner pocket by the 7 ball.
Mike can tie this match up.
He sure can. And we've talked about this type of thing in the past too, Jay. I think Buddy might be well advised to take a little potty break and give himself a good pep talk. There's a nice little square or insert of Buddy as he contemplates.
Yeah,
the past
stone-faced
few
Buddy
games.
Wall, wondering what he needs to do to get back on track. This is not his typical dominant game.
Okay, he's going to come up just 1 cushion for position on the 7 ball.
I agree with you. This would be the ideal time for him to take a break and regain himself a little bit. recompose himself. Mike's
Well,
going to tie this match up right now, 5 games apiece.
Well, I would say that the winner of this tournament would have an excellent chance to get Player of the Year. This would be a big, big win towards that goal.
Well, it'll be this one. It'll be the World Championships the end of May in Las Vegas. Of course, the Sands tournaments are always important, and there'll be a few other ones.
Kelly Oyama has pulled it within 1 game. She now trails Robin Bell 5 games to 6. Hey, there's Eva Mataya across the way, approaching
She's still
table
leading.
number 10.
Comfortable 8-2 lead.
All right,
Mike makes 2 balls in the break's going to have a good shot at the 1.
All right,
Nice run-out opportunity here.
The 4 and 8 are on the lower right-hand side rail. The 2 and 3 and 9 roughly in the middle of the table towards the lower right-hand quadrant of the 5,000 square inches on a 4.5 by 9 playing surface. I know all about the 5,000 square inches because a lot of times the 1 or 2 square inches, it's all there is that could get me in trouble. I managed to find it. All right, he's going to come 1 rail out. He's going to have to play position for the 4-8 combination. He's gotten a perfect angle here to just pull the cue ball over between the side pocket and the 4 ball. Mike.
There's a disturbance in the crowd. He's asking these people to settle down. Mike walks over to the audience and says, please hold it down. That's really disconcerting when people are sitting in the front row right next to the pool table and they're doing everything but watch the match.
Well, he's gotten ideal on the 4 ball. Very easy combination here. And a perfect angle to get on the 7 ball up at the other end. Low left-hand English. Very nice.
I'm almost expecting Mike to play real well from here on out. In fact, I think he may win this match. Buddy's had too many opportunities which he's thrown away.
He certainly has. Okay, no problem here. Shouldn't be at any rate. He'll just use a high ball, maybe just a touch of left-hand English, and just lag the 9 ball in the hole.
And he does.
To go ahead 6 games to 5.
Buddy once again passes up the opportunity to take a break. He comes right up to the table, racks the balls.
Well,
I
Buddy's
think
also
he needs an intermission. Yeah.
He's a smoker, Jay, like I am. And when you get about midway in one of these championship matches, the urge to light up a cigarette is almost irresistible. All right, Mike is going to continue to stay at the right-hand side of the table as he views it, and I can't say that I blame him given this past couple of breaks.
Tennessee Tarzan prepares to tee off.
He made a ball, stopped the cue ball without hardly any movement. Very well done. LeBron goes ahead 7-4 over Archer as we speak, and I think he's going to have to play the 1 in the side pocket.
That's the 2 on the lower right rail. Comes over nicely for the 2, the 3 right next to the cue ball, and the 4 by the left side pocket. Actually, the 4 is out in the table. It's the 6 closest to the left side pocket.
Well, he's going to play position for the 3 straight in the corner, the 4 in the side, and all he needs to do to win this game is get an angle on the 5 to get on the 6. That's the only possible problem ball as I viewed the thing. Mike's tempo's picked up a little bit. He's going around the table at quite a pace.
The key ball here is the 6. He's got to get on the 6 well off the 5, so he must play good position on the 5, and it looks like he's done that.
Oh, he's gotten almost ideal here. He can go into the 6 if he wishes. If he does so, he has to be careful not to hit it too thickly or it might go over where the 8 and 9 block it going in the corner.
He does go into the 6 and does it very well. But he didn't like that. He shook his head and shrugged, smiling.
I thought he made a nice shot there. I think he
did.
picked the best way to play it.
Yeah, it almost had to improve his shot by hitting it.
Okay.
He'll
This is almost a shoot and stop proposition from this juncture. And Mike Massey goes ahead of Buddy Hall 7 games to 5. Well, Tammy Wesley won a couple of games. She trails 3 games to 8 and is preparing to break. And Kelly Oyama has a 7, 8, and 9 left to tie her match up.
That's Kelly shooting the 7 ball. She tickles the 9. Gets herself some difficult position on the 8 ball there.
There's Kelly right now.
She snatches up that chalk. She's very angry about that shot.
Well, she's got a nice angle, though, on the 8. If she makes the 8, she can go 2 rails and get position on the 9.
I don't like that shot she's shooting. Looks like she's precariously close to the side pocket.
Well, she made it. Nicely done.
Got a tough shot on the 9, too. We're back to the break shot here. We'll let you know how that shot came out.
Well, he went forward on it a little bit, which I know he did not want to do, and I don't believe he made a ball on the break.
Kelly makes the 9. The cue ball's coming down towards the corner pocket. And she scratched. Kelly Oyama made a very good shot in the 9, but the cue ball went 2 rails and scratched. Buddy is now taking his break.
Well, I think he should do that. Now is an excellent time for him to compose himself and get everything together.
So, Buddy and Mike are talking about the break. I think Mike didn't want Buddy to leave right then during the rack. But there's no criteria that says you cannot take your break at any time. Now Mike's having a discussion with, can we show that there, Rick? He's having a discussion with tournament director Scott Smith.
Well, I think you're allowed to take your break anytime you want to.
I don't think Mike understood that.
In fact, you know, some players would prefer to take their break on their own shot, while others would like to go while their opponent is shooting.
Now, if your opponent's shooting, he can continue to shoot while you take the break. In fact, if he runs the rack, an official can rack the balls and he can continue to shoot.
That happened in Reno at the last tournament. Rich Geiler took a bathroom break, and when he came back, his opponent had won 3 games.
That's right, Bob Hunter. I remember that match. Rick came back and said, what happened? He went from 6-3 down to 9-3 down.
Johnny Archer trails 7 games to 5 now and is breaking.
Tournament director Scott Smith elects to sit next to Mike just to kind of help him cool his heels. Mike's not too happy about that. Of course, he's got some momentum going. He wants to play. We're watching the Archer-LeBron match right now. Johnny Archer trailing 7 games to 5. Critical juncture in the match. Johnny is a great come-from-behind player. I've seen him win so many matches from 8-5 down, 9-6.
Well, that crushing break enables him to be in the thick of things no matter what the score. Nice crowd in attendance here this Sunday afternoon in March 1991.
And they've got seating for 750 and probably standing room of another 100 people in here, and it will be packed today.
8-5 now, LeBron over Archer. Oh, you couldn't walk in this ballroom last night. And I understand that every ticket has been sold for the finals.
Oh, this is sold out. This event is completely sold out. We're lucky we got seats up here, Grady. Mike LeBron scored a stunning victory over Nick Varner last night. Varner tried to come back in the match, and Mike just shut the door on him. Nick was certainly one of the pre-tournament favorites.
Well, the only player not to have won a major tournament among the 4 finalists in the men's division is Johnny Archer, and he's due. Please do not stand here. You are in front of camera.
And you notice there's nobody standing there.
That looks like some of Pat Fleming's handiwork.
Yes.
Ah, the ACCUSTATS Command Center. That's beautiful. There's some of Pat Fleming's equipment.
Only he understands those controls.
And there's Pat himself.
In fact, he doesn't fully understand them.
And Pat has a regular habit of developing palsy of the hand when it comes time to write out my paycheck. I don't know what the problem's been.
He can't find a pin. Look, Grady, there they are.
There's the monitor.
There's the pins. We know they're there. Interesting view there. Multiple monitors.
I don't know whose hand that was. What is this we're looking at?
David Maddox.
Okay. That's just what we need, is some shadow animals to liven up this event.
Now, how did we create that effect right there? It's like the multiple mirrors effect.
Oh, that's beautiful. I like that paint freeze that Pat and Rick put together. That thing's a work of art.
Well, we're looking over towards the podium. Let's see, that should be to our left immediately.
Yeah, that's the tournament director's
Tournament
table.
director's table, yes. You
With
can
all
see
of
the-
his henchmen in attendance. There's Mike LeBron.
Mike LeBron trying to shut the door on Johnny.
The overhead lighting.
Jim Willard's done a fine job here.
Oh, he sure has. I hope other promoters take heed of his actions. He raised $100,000 for this quality event. There's the overhead camera.
With an extra light right above it. Interestingly enough, this table was lit a little bit differently than the other tables. You may notice that when you're viewing the room.
Well, let's give Pat credit. That's one of Pat Fleming's lights.
Yeah.
And
You notice
a lot of these major events, he provides the lights.
Yeah, the cloth is a little bit brighter on this table than the other tables.
There's Tammy Wesley stretching for a shot. She's won another game. Trails now 4 games to 9. They're letting
4 games to 8.
Excuse me, 4 games to 8. They're allowing the ladies to play to 11 games here, Jay, and I think that's overdue. They come out and pay their entry fees just like the men do, and I think that they're entitled to the proper length match.
Yeah, typically in the past, the women have played a shorter race, like a race to 9, as opposed to 11.
There's Eva Mattia. Fetching and quite capable, as per usual. There was Water Dog that we glimpsed very briefly. Water Dog, one time, many years ago, was going down the freeway, waving his arms and going, "Rrrr," and the police stopped him. They said, "Where do you live?" He said, "I live with popcorn, buttermilk, geese, and squirrel." And the policeman said, "Are you sure you don't mean Knott's Berry Farm?" Anyway, they couldn't figure out anything to give him a ticket for, so they finally gave him a ticket for driving without a car. Ricky Frecken, or Ricky
Water
Frecken-Paskey.
Dog claims to have visited several other planets besides planet Earth. And you know what? I don't dispute his claim.
No, nor do I. A lot of knowledgeable people here in attendance this week. They appreciate and applaud very graciously the championship pocket billiards that we've all viewed.
We're in St. Charles, Illinois at the Pheasant Run Resort, about 30 miles west of Chicago.
Well, you know, I couldn't afford to stay here. I'm down at the Motel 6, $19.95
Frank
a day.
Van de Bosch, he owns the Billiard Cafe downtown, a fine billiard room in Chicago. Louis Lemke had a nice performance here. Top 24 finish. We're missing one pool player.
Well, I think
Mr.
he's only
Blaine.
allotted the 5-minute break.
Bobby LeBlanc sitting in the front row talking to Robin Bell. Bobby's the house pro at the brand new Hollywood Athletic Club in Los Angeles, a beautiful billiard emporium. You know, that's really what's happening with this game today, Grady. They're opening beautiful rooms all over the country. It's a tremendous resurgence the last couple years.
And there was Fleetwood that we just passed a moment ago. And Bobby looks like he just stepped out of a Hollywood movie. I always envied those guys that look great in sunglasses.
But he returns the table. He's faced with a push-out situation, we believe.
Yeah, he can't hit the one, I don't think. And I don't know where he's going to push to. He might be able to bank this one across the corner. We may see him go for this.
Yeah, he may play safe there. He may shoot the one and just stick the cue ball right there, bank the one out of there.
Well, if he can see that much of it, that would be a good shot. See, he can actually cut this ball slightly to his left and make, in that fashion, the cue ball should end up behind the 3. and the one ball would go short enough to miss the 4, which
Can he
is
make this
resting by the
ball?
right-hand side
He
pocket.
may be able to spin this ball in. He did. He did. He did.
Well, he shot
Well,
it straight in. That
yeah, he
shows-
had a little better angle than we thought. It's a little bit hard to see from way up here.
All right, he's gotten a nice angle on the 2 ball. The 3 by the far left-hand corner pocket, the 4 by the right-hand side pocket, the 5 right by Buddy's bridge hand. 6, 8, 9 down at the lower end of the table.
Let's see if the real Buddy Hall returned from this break.
Well, he's playing like the real Buddy Hall. You can almost sense it in his posture at the table.
He certainly is adverse to going over to the loser's side. That's not a place he likes to be.
Well, he's in position to win the tournament, whether he wins this match or not.
Just means one extra match he'd have to play against a tough opponent,
Sure.
and he'd rather avoid that.
Okay, I think he's gotten close enough to the 4 ball to be in pretty good shape. He can go 1 or 2 rails here.
The applause you hear, Ava Mataya just went on the hill at 10.
That's a nice shot. Doesn't want to get too straight because the 6 doesn't pass the 9. Now he may have to follow this ball out of there.
I think so. I think I agree with you there. He's going to have to follow 2 rails, come back down to the center of the table for the 6.
His other choice, of course, would be to draw back and play position for the right-hand side pocket.
He's drawing it, though.
I don't know if he's got enough angle to force this out 1 rail or not.
He's going to hit it firm. Boom, and he gets out there.
Boy, that was a pretty hit. Much more difficult than Buddy Hall made it appear.
Not the easiest runner, because now he's got to go back up table for the 7.
Now, this is not the type of shot Buddy Hall likes. He's got to go 1 cushion with low left English. He'd like to not have to put that much English on.
Another very firm stroke. Boom. Boy, he lowered the boom on that one, too.
He lambasted that ball. All right, now 1 rail up to the 8 ball.
As
And
Nicky Varner likes to say, he whacked it.
sure did. 8 to 6, LeBron over Archer. Right towards the 8, perfect position line. Now he'll just draw it back a few inches, and he'll be straight in on the 9 ball. And narrow the gap for only 1 game.
This is Buddy's most solid rack of the match so far.
Well, that certainly was not the easiest run out. Now, if he can get his break working. Robin Bell leads Kelly Oyama 8 games to 6, and 10 to 4 Mataya over Wesley.
Robin just wins her 9th game.
It's 9 to 6 now. That hand from an appreciative crowd for Johnny Archer's just perpetrated jump shot. Buddy checking the rack.
The loser of this match will play right back against the Archer-LeBron winner. The winner will be seeded into the finals at 7:30.
All right, Buddy again breaking from the right-hand side of the table.
I like Buddy in these big money tournaments. He seems to really come to the front.
Well, he has a way of getting the job done, and has for many a year.
Once again, the cue ball falls down the table.
And he's going to be snookered, I believe. He can hit a piece of the 2, but I don't think he can make it.
Yeah, the 4 got him. The 4 got him. The 1 went on the break, and that's the 2 up by the left side pocket. The 3 closer to the upper right corner pocket.
Now, he should bank this ball 2 rails. Cue ball back down, maybe even end up behind the 9 ball. This is no English at all. He'll bank the 2 towards the 3 ball. Has an excellent chance to get safe.
Well, that's what he's looking at. Where's the 2 going to go on this bank?
He's not going to push out here. He has to avail himself of
Uh-oh. Now it looks like he's shooting at the 2 ball. Well, I don't know.
He wants to shoot. I know that feeling, but I don't think he'd be well advised to exercise that particular option. Not at this critical point in a major event. You score very close against redoubtable opposition. I don't think we'll see Buddy take a shot at
Yeah,
this.
he's electing to go the safety route.
This is a pretty high percentage safety. He's going to have a lot of distance between the balls.
You know, he actually tried to bank that ball in the pocket.
Well, he's going to pay for that as he leaves Mike Massey a very makeable 2-ball. And if the 3 passes the 7, which is on the far end rail, Mike's got a nice shot to just punch the ball over to the right-hand side of the 3-ball.
Mike walks around, looks at the 4. The 4 will go past the 8 in the lower left corner.
Well, that being the case, he's in pretty good shape here. This is just below center, maybe just a hair of right-hand English. Oh, he followed the ball.
Yeah, sure.
Nice shot. Now just 1 rail up towards the 4-ball.
Critical rack for Mike right now, following Buddy's last impressive run out.
I like following this one 1 rail. Johnny Archer just missed the 9-ball.
That'll probably cost him the match.
Okay, he's got a nice angle here. All he's got to do is draw this back.
Could have got a little closer to the 5.
And the score is 9-6 now, LeBron over Archer.
Just cinch the ball and draw back about a foot. He'll be all right, and he does. Fall down for the 7 on the top rail.
Well, he can punch this out 1 cushion with low left English too, if he wishes. Oh, he had a better angle than I thought.
Mike is going to maintain his lead here.
He sure is.
He's not ready to give this match away.
No, made a nice run out. The 2-ball, the initial shot being the key to the whole affair.
Went a little bit too far here with the cue ball. Yes, he went too far.
He's all right here. He can spin this in or hit it with no English.
Just a little moment of carelessness. That's all it takes. And he's going to take another look at this.
I don't blame him. A little extra time would be well warranted in this instance. I think he's going to spin this in, go 3 natural short rails.
I don't think he got the 9 in the pocket. No, he didn't. No, he didn't.
You know, this is the 2nd time this match that he's done that. And he made a rookie mistake there, Jay. You must get the ball to the pocket.
Yep. And all because he was careless on the 8-ball there. He was careless for a moment, just a lack of concentration for an instant. Cue ball went too far. And it's a 2-game swing. Instead of having an 8-6 lead, the match is tied at 7.
And Buddy has to be absolutely delighted. I think this is the poorest performance on the part of Buddy Hall that I've ever seen. Careful.
Certainly his poorest this week. And I think he's going to win the match regardless right now.
Well,
that could be the turning point right there.
Mike has certainly had every opportunity to close this match out. But, of course, on the part of Mike Massey, he has not played well either, so he's got to be happy to be in this thing. This is a very important match, critical, if you will. Now, Buddy's going back to the left-hand side of the table.
Makes a good break there.
Well, he put all of his power into that shot. He made a ball on the break, and he's in great shape. The 2 balls on the far end rail, the 3 by the right-hand corner, the 4 towards the far left-hand quadrant of the table.
I think we're going to see Buddy saw his way through this rack very nice and neatly.
Well, he'll make sure to stay above the 2 here, like so.
The problem here is the 6 and 8, which are in the side pocket. The 6 is somewhat blocked by the 8-ball.
Well, he'll end up coming below the 6, if I'm not mistaken.
Shooting in the upper right corner near the 3.
And Mike LeBron goes ahead of John Archer, 10-6. All right, he's okay here. He can actually play position for either corner. But I think he'll play position for the pocket by where he's standing. I have to use a little low right English on this shot. No, he's hitting a high ball, so he may be playing to play the 4 in the same pocket as the 3.
Now he goes back and forth across the table.
All right, now given where he's gotten here, he's going to try to get on the far right-hand side rail, I believe. All he's got to do is play this to get on the rail. This is just above center, right-hand English.
This shot takes a perfect touch. A perfect touch. Got to lay right on the rail, which he does.
Now he's in great shape here. Now he can just punch forward a little bit, play the left in the left-hand side pocket, the 7-ball, I mean, excuse me.
The 8-ball on the right-hand side, and the 9 down the rail.
All right, now all he has to do, well, he could be on either side of the 8 here, really, and be all right. I think he'd prefer to be on the bottom side of it. He'll go 2 rails here, if I'm not mistaken, just below center, left-hand English. And go towards the 8, like so.
And he'll go down to the end rail and come over to the left.
All right, left-hand English. He's looking at it. He doesn't have the draw angle. He needs to go to the end rail, as you suggested.
He's going to draw anyway.
All right, he may
He's
be
going to kind of force this shot a little bit. Cheat the pocket here. Come straight across the table. Boom, just like that.
Okay, he had a straighter in angle than we thought.
Buddy Hall's going to take the lead. Is this the first time he's been ahead in this match? He may have been ahead right at the beginning.
I think it is the first time he's been ahead. Kelly Oyama trails Robin Bell 10 games to 7.
It's 8-7. Buddy Hall leading, and now Mike Massey takes his break. Buddy follows him out. So we've got a few-minute break here.
Now Mike LeBron has only the 7, 8, 9 remaining to win his quarterfinal match.
They play you, they play Grady.
Players have returned. Players have returned. Mike Massey's racked the balls, and
Buddy's back at the left-hand side of the table. Excepting one break, Jay, I don't think Buddy has broken the balls well. So he's trying to adjust and maybe get things in order here and go ahead and dispatch of Mike Massey. That's better. That's more like the vintage Buddy Hall break shot. He's not going to have a shot on the 1-ball. Now we may see Buddy take a bank at this 1-ball. He has the 3 and 4 ball, which are resting on the right-hand side of the table, in which the 1 might end up behind. So he may take a bank at this ball.
he made the 2-ball on the break. That's the 3 over towards the right side pocket with the 4 on the lower right rail.
And Mike LeBron has just defeated Johnny Archer.
So the loser of this match gets the unenviable task of playing Mike LeBron.
Well, you have to give Mike LeBron an excellent chance to win this event, Jay. Mike has a way of getting up for major events. Well, this is classic Buddy Hall style. Critical situation, table length bank. I really have always loved the way he hits this type of shot. He may even draw this bank shot. Get position on the 3-ball. Oh,
He cuts it in.
He
cuts
the ball
it in. Made a great shot. Unfortunately, he came down and kicked the 7 into the 5. And I don't think he can see the full 3-ball.
He may be able to hit the bottom part of it. I can't tell from here.
Boy, Buddy came with a big shot there. He's looking to see. I wonder if he's looking to see if he can cut the 3 up in the same end where he just made the 1 up in the upper right corner. I think that's about as much the 3 as he can see.
Well, let's see what he does here. He's going to try to go into the 4-ball here, I think. Well, he did the smart thing, getting up a couple of times from this very difficult prospect.
I think it's a good possibility, Grady, that Buddy will send the 3 up top of the table and bring the cue ball down behind that cluster, the 7, 5, 6, 9.
I don't think he can do that, Jay. I don't think he can hit enough of it to do that. If he could do that, he would already be playing the 3 in the corner, I suspect.
He's backing away from the table, taking a little longer look at it.
This is a rough situation. I don't see anything real workable here. He may try to use inside English and go twice across the table with the 3.
Boy, it looks like he's shooting the 3 ball, trying to make it in the upper right corner. No, it was a safety. It was a safety.
No, he went for it, I think. Well, he said it was the best he could do. Apparently, that's all he could hit of it. Obviously, did not have enough.
It was almost as if he was trying to bank the 3 back down into this cluster and send the cue ball up on top of the table.
Well, that would have been a very nice shot. All right, Mike's going to have to use low right-hand English and go 1 rail before the left-hand side pocket and then come out above the 4, which is resting on the right-hand lower side rail. 5, 6, 7 roughly in the middle of the table, the 8 up at the other end.
Yeah, Mike's going to have to unleash his stroke here, too.
Well, he doesn't have to hit this real hard. It's a nice natural angle. Watch out for
Look
the
out,
side pocket.
look out, look out. He caught it.
Well, Jay, I've got to tell you, I'm surprised here. That's 2 rookie mistakes that Mike really has made. Given that particular shot, don't you play it 1.5 feet above the side to make sure you don't scratch? And then the prior rack, of course, he did not get the 9 ball to the pocket. Maybe the fact that Mike hasn't been in this position in a few years is affecting him. I don't know.
This is interesting. Buddy's choosing to go the safety route here.
Oh, he's just going to draw this above the 4 ball.
Oh, the 3 passes the 9?
Yeah, he's got plenty of room.
Oh,
there.
okay. Couldn't see that.
Now he'll play the 5 in the lower left-hand corner pocket. Just punch this out with low left English, 1 rail. And as aforementioned, the 6, 7 roughly in the middle of the table.
Kills the cue ball nicely there. We'll do a soft draw shot here.
I think he'll play the 6 in the same pocket as the 5.
Correct. It's like a little kill shot. Slides the cue ball up on the 6. Now he can draw over, shoot the 7 in the left side.
He didn't get where he wanted. He would prefer to play the 7 in the corner also.
And I think he's going to have to play it inside.
See, he's not sure about the weight of the cue ball. He's afraid he'll hit the bottom side of the 7 if he plays position for the side.
Well, that's what he's looking at.
Well, if he makes sure he does not hit the 7, he'll have a shot in the corner up there by the 8 or in the side pocket. He just wants to be sure not to hit the 7.
Does a nice job there.
And he's in pretty good shape. 7 on the side, 8 in the corner. He can get almost any kind of angle on the 8 that he desires. Looks like he's going to follow it down, probably to the end rail and up a few inches.
Right. Does a good job of that again.
And he's gotten a perfect angle here, I think. I think he'll use just below center left English and come 1 long rail towards the 9. Like so. Very nicely done. And for Mike Massey, I'm sure he'd like to have these last couple of games back. At any rate, Buddy Hall goes ahead in the match, precluding his missing the 9 ball, of course, with a score of 9 games to 7.
Our other matches are all complete.
Well, I think this is the only match, Jay, where the players took both of their breaks. The other matches, I don't think any of the players took a break.
Yeah, I didn't notice any other players leaving.
Buddy checking to see if the rack is aligned correctly. And
Let's
he's
see.
going to go back to the other side of the table. Now, he is pretty much switched off throughout the course of this particular contest. There's a nice
I'm looking
shot
for a big break
of
from Buddy right
preparing to
now.
break.
I'm looking for a big break from him.
Uh-oh, he did not want to go forward.
Ooh.
And he didn't make anything on the break.
The 9 just missed going in the upper right corner pocket.
Now, Jay, if he doesn't knock this 1 ball down towards the 5 and put the cue ball behind the 6 and 7, I, for one, will think Mike Massey has taken complete leave of his senses. That's a high percentage safety. And Billy and I talk about this kind of thing all the time. I believe that when you're behind in a pressure situation, you go to extra trouble to get a real high percentage shot. And there's no confidence builder quite like a cue ball in hand.
Well, he's looking at exactly what you're talking about.
And if you're going to play the safety, why not go ahead and try to freeze him right up on the 7?
That's it. That's the move. But can Mike Massey execute it?
Oh, I think so. Mike's pretty well versed in this type of safety play. Mike plays a very adequate game of 1 pocket, terrific straight pull, and I'm sure he knows how to get the cue ball behind the 6-7. The only possible thing could go wrong with this shot is to scull the 1 in off of something down at this end of the table. Were that to occur, of course, he'd be snookered on the 2 ball.
He went the other way.
Well, I've got to say, although it appears he may have gotten away with this, that was not the best thought out selection.
No, I liked your version of the shot much better. And although Buddy may have some obstruction from the 8th ball and he's kneeling down to look, I think he can make the 1 in that upper left corner. The 2 ball close to the center of the table near the spine.
I don't think he can make it, Jay, but he can use the jump cue, or he can certainly hit enough of the 1 to play a safety.
Yeah, the way the balls are sitting, yeah, he can.
I would play the 1 up in the vicinity of the 2 ball, the cue ball behind the 9, 5, 8. That's what I would do. Like so.
He wanted to stick the cue ball behind the 9, didn't quite do that.
Well, he could have struck it a little hard. If he hits it hard enough for the 1 to get to the end rail, then he's got the snooker. Now, Mike has an excellent shot to put Buddy behind the 4 ball. And the 1 ball, of course, he'd like to knock it down to the end rail and back up between the 2 and 5. Not much you can do wrong with this shot. Just a nice, slow, medium speed. You don't even need any English here, just a high ball. Maybe just a touch of right English. Okay, didn't catch the 1 quite quickly enough. Now I think Mike's going to find it, well, Buddy may decide to shoot at this, but I think he'll think better of that and decide to play the safety.
He may play the safety you were talking about.
Well, his isn't lying as good as Mike's was because of the direction the 1's going to go.
He's definitely looking at the pocket. He's shooting at the 1 ball.
He may be 3-railing the 1 ball out of here and putting the cue ball behind the 6 and 7. Now, that's not a bad safety.
Looks like he's shooting at it. He's going to try to draw for position. He did. Ooh, beautiful shot.
Well, I think he's gotten the position on the 2 ball. The 3 and 4 down at the lower end of the table, 6, 7 on the far side rail, and 5, 8 in the middle of the table.
That was a big-time shot that no one shoots any better than Buddy Hall. Fired that 1 in off the end rail.
Certainly did. Now, this is just 1 rail. They just kind of punch this ball in the pocket.
Ooh.
Uh-oh. He was already raising up at the moment he hit that shot. Now, Mike has to consider himself very fortunate to get this kind of performance on the part of Buddy Hall. Now, he's going to have to play a safety here, like it or not. And the safety is to knock the 2 ball right down to the middle of this end rail. The cue ball should be square behind the 5 and 8. This is a little bit of left English, just a high ball, nice thick hit on the 1, like so. Well, I wouldn't be surprised to see Buddy shoot at this, too.
Well, Buddy made a terrific shot on the 1. Not that the 2 ball he missed was an easy shot, but after making the 1, it was relatively easy. This, again, is a very difficult shot from where he's at. He's lining it up. He wants to shoot at the 2. He's going to cut the 2 in the left corner, the lower left corner.
Now, this is risky. He has to go up and down the table between the 5 and 6, or hazard going into the 5 ball, which I just don't think Buddy will do. Tough shot.
And this is high-risk stuff here. He missed it. He's going to leave Mike a good shot.
Now, this is critical here. It's either going to be 9 games to 8 or 10 games to 7. Mike has to have this game if he wants to have a realistic chance of advancing to the finals. I think you need to take a little extra time in a situation like this. Now, the 5 ball, of course, is a problem. The 2, 3, and 4 down at the lower end of the table. The 5 ball is up by the 9 ball. But he's going to need a good angle on the 5 to be able to achieve respectable position on the 6 ball. All right, he's gotten where he can get about anywhere he wants on the 4 ball. Nice angle on the 4. He'll punch this out one long rail.
Wants to come up near the center of the table with the cue ball, a little bit left of center. That's his best angle for the 5.
Well, I see a problem with this. He's not going to have a comfortable angle to get around the 9 ball.
Yeah, he's going to have to just roll straight up the table, which is what he'll do here. He'll just come straight up the table, I think. He can avoid the 9 ball. He's going to have a little bit of a tough shot on the 6, though.
I might go around the other side of the 9. Let's see what he elects to do here.
No, I think he's coming straight up table. Yeah, he did. Hit that good. He actually hit it firm.
Well, he went 2 cushions. That was a real clever position shot. All right, he's got a nice angle on the 6 now.
This is the key shot here. Just make the 6. Just make this ball, and he'll be all right. He does.
All right, he's perfect to get anywhere he wants on the 8. Buddy shaking his head in chagrin, not believing that he missed that very makeable 2 ball.
Yeah, that was that could have been the match right there if Buddy got out that rack. He would have just about sealed the victory for himself.
Like
Instead,
Mike's going to go right over in the area where he's standing, like so.
Once again, Mike will pull within 1 game. He'll be trailing in this match 8 games to 9 when this 9 ball falls, and it does.
And both players have had a chance to put this match away. And I would venture to say, Jay, that whichever one of them wins this match will have to perform better if they expect to defeat Mike LeBron.
I agree with you there.
These are 4.5-inch pockets, making the game somewhat more difficult.
It's a championship setup table, and they're to the specifications of the Men's Professional Billiards Association, and those specifications are rather stringent. Much tighter pockets than you'd find at your local billiard hall.
Well, this is interesting. Now, I like this kind of 9-ball play, Jay. The 4 is resting on the lower right-hand side rail in not the best of positions. And the 3 ball is at the other end of the table. So he's going to have a problem here. He's got to play the 1 now, get position on the 2. It's 9-8 favor Buddy Hall. All right. Getting on the 4 ball is a big problem with this rack. Of course, the way the 3 is lying, he could play to get straight in on the 4. That would be the play here as I look at this. He needs to draw this back, and he wants to get almost straight in on the 3 so he can lay the cue ball over on the side rail, almost like the Buddy Hall position play on the 6 ball of 2 or 3 racks ago.
Exactly. Very similar shot.
Anyway, because of the lie of the 5 ball, he can shoot, if he gets straight in on the 4, he can shoot the 4 in the corner, the 5 in the side, and the rest of the rack is a foregone conclusion.
Gets good position on the 3.
I don't know if this is good or not. I don't know if he's got an angle. If he's got an angle, he can follow this. Okay, he's in great shape here.
He's a little bit of high right English. He's going to make that cue ball come off.
All right, he's gotten a very respectable position. All he's really got to do here is make the 4. Now, I wouldn't risk trying to get a perfect angle on the 5. I would just make the 4 and take the angle I'm given.
He's got a good angle. He's got a little bit of distance. All he's got to do, like you said, Grady, is just cinch the ball. Because the cue ball will hop off the rail an inch or 2, which is all he needs.
Well, I wouldn't want to risk missing the 4 trying to get perfect on the 5, and that's what he did.
He just missed a shot. He was really trying to cinch it. He wasn't trying to do anything with the cue ball. You see it just fell off the rail an inch or two. He just flat missed the ball.
Well, I think he should have shot that somewhat easier. That's what I meant.
He rushed it a little bit too.
4.5-inch pockets, rail shots, it's necessary to have a nice slow speed most of the time.
I won't disagree with that either. He punched that ball, brought it off the rail, and you saw the result.
Well, I think he could have shot the 4-in easily and taken the angle on the 5, and even though he had to go down to the other end rail and back up for the 6 in the side pocket, he would have been in good shape. All right, Buddy's going to punch this out one rail below the 8 and back out in the middle of the table. I think he's got that much angle. I don't think he's straight in enough to just kill the ball there. Like so. Nice shot.
Quiet down, quiet down, quiet down.
Quiet down, Buddy requests politely. Very important match. Critical game. However, I don't think any power in the universe can keep Buddy Hall from clearing his remaining 2 balls. He's perfect. Just one rail out. Or he doesn't even have to go to the rail if he desires not to. And just like that, it is going to be 10 games to 7. Advantage Buddy Hall.
Mike missed his golden opportunity.
10 games to 8, excuse me. Well, I know he wants to put one big, powerful break on this rack. Because anytime you have championship competitors, they can win from this type of position, needing only 3 or 4 games. And he's back on the left side of the table.
This championship billiard match is being brought to you by Accu-Stats Video Productions. Pat Fleming, director.
If you want this or any other tape, you have merely to dial 1-800-828-0397. There it is. There's the big break. 2 balls on the break. The cue ball squatted squarely in the middle of the table.
You've got the 3 right in the center of the table, the 4 by the lower left corner pocket, the 5 by the right side pocket, the 6 above the 9, the 8 at the top of the table.
I think we're going to see him play the 1 in the right-hand corner here, and he just wants to make this. The cue ball is going to come towards the 3, and I don't think that's going to bother him. He could even put a little left English on it and play the 3 for the left-hand side pocket. Anyway, given the lie of these balls, position on the 3 ball is all that's even halfway difficult about this rack.
Yeah, all the pockets are open here. The only thing he could do wrong was roll up against the 3. He didn't do that. He actually hit the 3. He'll shoot the 3 in the side pocket by the 5.
Well, he's in great shape here. The 5 by the right-hand side pocket. He'll go all the way over to the side rail here, I think. No, he didn't do that.
I think the next time Mike Massey gets up out of that chair, he's going to be shaking Buddy's hand.
Well, I don't think there's much doubt about that, although he didn't get exactly where he wanted here. He's not comfortable to draw or follow this. If he can get around the 6 and 9, he could follow this out of their 2 cushions and be ideally situated. I knew it was touchy.
Got a little scared there. He thought he might roll up behind the 9 ball.
Well,
In fact, now I think the 6 is being blocked by the 9.
He blocked the hole, he said.
So what do I have to do? He'll have to shoot the 5 in the side with a firm stroke, draw back across table, and shoot the 6 in the lower right corner. I know he doesn't want to shoot this shot this way, but I don't think that he has a choice, Grady.
Well, if he's straight in on this shot, he's going to have a problem with that. He may have to play the 5 in the corner if that's the case, although I think he does not want to do that.
I'll tell you what, at this point in the match, I like Buddy. Whatever he wants to do, I think he can do it.
Well, he's going to take his time. I know he would like Mike Massey to not come to the table again.
I like to put my money on Buddy Hall executing a difficult shot at a critical juncture in a match. I don't think anybody does it better.
No, I agree wholeheartedly. He doesn't like the angle. He's giggling to himself.
Well, you know what it looked like he was thinking about doing was shooting it in the side and rolling the cue ball 2 rails down into the corner and coming back out.
I like him shooting this in the corner. That way he knows he's going to be on the 6 ball.
I think that's what he's doing now.
This
yeah.
is just kind of a flat
And
ball.
just roll right across the table. Does a nice job. Couldn't be much better than that, Grady.
No, and he's got an angle where he can draw past the side to the far left-hand side rail, I believe. And he'll make sure and stay above the 8 here. And he'll have a nice angle to come down 1 or 2 rails off the 8 ball for position
He'll
on the
be
9.
drawing back towards that upper left rail, right there.
Well, he's in great shape. Now, I like hitting just before the side pocket and using the right-hand English, but 1 rail is just about as good. Buddy being the great position player he is, I think he'll go the 2-rail route. No, he came 1 rail down. Well, barring the supernatural, this match is history. And I know Buddy has to be elated to get away with a not very well played match. But that'll probably change this evening.
Yeah, watch out for him in the finals. Buddy Hall by a score of 11-8. Our next matchup will be Mike Massey versus Mike LeBron.
Both gentlemen are still in the tournament. Mike Massey will be right back. We're going to take just a short break and we'll get underway. Table 6 will be the ladies' match. Oyama and Mathews.
Okay, we have no time for an interview. So I'd like to mention again that if you want any of these terrific tapes, simply dial 1-800-828-0397. Jay, it's been a pleasure.
Thank you, Grady. I enjoyed it.